Jess and I'm from our own English High School, Dubai. I represent Jaimes, OOD, and here to tell you all about starting your own garden, especially in your school, okay? Because once it starts in school, I guess it goes forward and you can have it in your own backyard, okay? So let me take you through this. I have two of my wonderful students with me, Nandita and Ashita, who are going to assist me, okay? So let's go ahead. Okay, so here we are going to ask students how they are going to create the garden and how it will foster cross-curricular learning, especially through the entire school, okay? As you know, India is facing a lot of drought, and it's really important for us to take action and to start probably building and having our own gardens, right? We cannot depend always on the government and our farmers and everything. So we need to start and take that initiative and teach our children for the future. Okay, so these are the two projects we have initiated in our school. One is the Our Own Blossoms and one is the hydroponics. I'll ask my two students to explain a little bit about these two projects.
Started about 4 years ago, and this is a completely soil-based agriculture, and it is also completely organic. We started this 4 years ago when our principal said that we had a bad piece of land in school and we had to do something with it. So we were trying to come up with an effective idea on how we could utilize this piece of land judiciously. We started with 15 students and about 2 teachers, and now it is going to be started that every year we have 2 seasons, and we have including about 150 students in our group. The next project that we have initiated is about 2 years. Thank you. I know in Dubai we have hardly any space with all the buildings coming up, and even water is a very hard resource to find. Hydroponics is a water-based agriculture where water is stagnant, and so we have to keep adding water on a constant basis like soil-based agriculture. So this helps us save the water use and also helps us.
I can start another. Did I give you one? You could have two. We also have the Edu blog where the students put in all the information on a blog, and it's really interesting. That is the blog. As we go ahead, this is the hydroponics.
So if you see here, most of the plants we grow are saddle-based plants which grow really well in a water-based land. Here you can see that there's absolutely no soil used, and with the help of a few teachers, this was our inauguration ceremony, we grow it without any soil using only water and a few added nutrients.
Okay, we have a little activity for you all. It's a jigsaw puzzle. So you've got to form the logo, Our Own Blossoms, on the sheet provided, and then stick it, and then you'll see what is revealed after that. So there is glue. I gave the glue. Yeah. You could stick it, not a problem. There's glue. I just have 2 glue sticks, so we could stick it. Take it.
We'll pass it on.
And then stick it over there, and then. Hello, ma'am. This is for you. Come on. Nice to see you. She was from my school. Yeah, you work with her. Or you work with them. It's up to you. And then you stick it. Let's see who's going to get it first. Okay, there's glue here. So, but you can stick it on that. So,
Okay. So take that glue.
so if you stick it, open it out. Yeah.
So glue.
It's better you stick it. Did you all finish? Okay, did you all stick it? Glue. Put just a little glue because then you can stick.
That is gardening without.
Is it finished?
No, I mean the board at the back.
That is done?
Oh no,
Oh no. Start fast, quickly. Turn it around. Okay, next. Okay, as you can see, behind what was revealed are the 8 steps you would follow to start your own garden. So can we take you through that, girls? The land.
First you would need a piece of land.
That's the land.
You can see that. That's how we started off. That was the barren land which we had used to create our own classes. The second, you need to test the type of soil that you will be using. As a child in the middle school, this is the first experience with chemistry where we had to test the pH level to make sure what kind of crops grow in the land. We were also asked to test the soil if there were lumps and needed to, break it. So next we go on to the selection of seeds. This was an extremely crucial point because we needed to have the proper seeds in order to get a proper harvest. After that, we move on to sowing of the seeds. In our first season, we weren't very sure of how to do this, but now it's getting better, and most of the students do it on their own. Sometimes we have the help of a few teachers, but usually it's just the garden club. Irrigation. This is an extremely important process, and in our garden we use drip irrigation as a method. This is extremely effective as in this climate of ours we try to save every drop of water, and as we will be showing you shortly, we'll show you how we follow drip irrigation in our garden. After we have saplings and transplanting, when we start off, we plant the plants in a few pots, small pots, so that they can grow easily. If you plant them directly into the soil, they might struggle along with the other plants, especially in a weather like ours. So once they've grown into these size saplings, you can then transplant them into the soil directly. Nurturing the crop, we utilize a lot of manures and fertilizers in order to help keep our crops healthy and as organic as possible. And of course, all of these are very natural. After we have the harvest and sale, where we harvest everything we've produced that season, and we do not stop there. We also sell our produce within the walls of our school among the members of school, students or teachers.
The sale is something which is very popular because hardly you announce it to the teachers. You find all the teachers running and during the break time going and buying vegetables, and then it's over by the end of it. So it's really good, and it helps the students a lot because that money is taken back as an entrepreneurship activity, and the students buy more seeds, right? Okay, as you know, Jamie Oliver always insisted on having healthy school for his children, and so that's something next that we are planning to do, where we are going to have an initiative of healthy food for our children in school itself. This is the multi-disciplinary teaching which I was talking about, which is a cross curriculum, as she'll take you through math.
As Ma'am just explained, we have a sale every season when we harvest and we sell our produce. Here we take in marketing as well as accountancy, where we think about profit and loss and how much to sell it for and what's the value of each produce that we have collected that season. As Ma'am explained, the profit that we gain goes back into the garden for the next season. Next we have the subject of science, and as you all know, it's very obvious. We deal with chemistry, we deal with biology, because we deal with all living organisms, and also we test the pH levels as we have mentioned before, and this all gives an insight in these subjects.
What about the type of photomones? The type of photomones. Photohormones, the different acids.
When we started, we were obviously using chemical fertilizers, and to an extent, it was growing well, but we understood that there were certain effects on plants which we had to research on after that, which is when we switched to using organic manure. We have a compost pit within our school where we make our own manure. We collect all the waste again from within our schools, from the canteen or whatever waste we find, and that goes back into our garden to use. Second language. The primary children are very inspired by this project that we have initiated, and they've taken to writing beautiful poems on this. We have poems in Hindi, in Urdu, in Malayalam, in French, and in various different languages, and these are published in our school magazine as well. Research-based learning. So when we start a journey like this, it's obvious that we're going to face problems along the way. For example, if you can see that, a few of our cauliflowers in one season turned purple, which you wouldn't normally see. When you buy cauliflowers, they're usually white, but we ended up with purple cauliflowers, which we then had to figure out why.
Could you all kind of tell us why it, guesses why it turned purple?
Use of chemicals because of
No. Cross pollination? No. Okay.
Anything else?
Can you reveal?
So as we mentioned earlier, we use drip irrigation, which means the same pipe and the same water goes around for all the plants. That season, we have planted these cauliflowers next to a few beetroots, And because of a few rocks in the soil, the beetroots had actually broken, and the pigment from the beetroot had gone into the water. And since the same water circulates, those pigments affected the cauliflower, which is why they turned purple. It wasn't a bad thing though, because everybody's very excited to buy the purple ones.
Yes, it's good marketing strategy.
Next time try with
This-
carrots.
Car-
We actually,
Orange.
somebody mentioned that.
Instead of cauliflower, you can call it polyroot.
So waste management. Now we have a lot of canteens in our school as always. So we use the waste generated within the walls of our school in canteens, in home science labs, the vegetable peels, and we utilize this and we put this into our own compost pit, and we do waste management like this. And Asha just mentioned we have home science labs. So after our sale, the remaining produce we send it to the home science labs, and they make use of this. Like once we had a lot of tomatoes grown in one of the seasons, and they made tomato ketchup within the schools, and also other vegetables. They make parathas and various other things within the home science lab. So again, nothing ever goes to waste. Even if it doesn't get sold, it still goes back to our home science lab.
Okay, this is where we take the garden throughout the school.
So the KG ones, it's kindergarten, they have toy gardens where they make use of their old cars and like tires, and they build this within that. So it's kind of fun, it's very colorful for them, which keeps them interested. And then the higher family, they have something called the herb garden, where they have pots of their own and they grow small herbs which are very easy to grow and grows quickly. And
That's the middle school, that's where they just started. How old were you all then? How many years
we were
ago?
in 6th grade.
We were 11, 12 years
Us,
old.
yeah. And now we're in 10th grade, so it's been 4 years since we started on the same project.
Yes.
So Art Blossoms is basically a middle school initiative, and everything comes under that canopy. And and Primary Patch is another extension to the KG Herb Garden, where they transplant those herbs and they make them into proper.
And then the senior school, again, as we mentioned, the home science laboratories are found in the 11th and 12th grades, where they make use of the produce produced between all the other parts of the school, and they finally use it in the senior section, and we cook them.
Okay, this is a testimony by one of the mothers, and she has mentioned that my child is very interested, and she was never a vegetable lover, but nowadays she shows more interest in them and loves the vegetarian dishes being prepared at home, and I must thank our own Blossoms for that. So the parents as well are very much involved in the garden process. This is our teacher who facilitates the garden, Rekha George. So what started as a group of barely 15 students and 2 facilitators have now grown into 150 students. And you all do have meetings every
We have a
week?
club, and we meet and we decide what's to be done for the next season and what to harvest and when to do it according to the weather.
As you see, most of the projects are very student-led in our school, and this gives them the great opportunity to be independent and start their own enterprise probably sometime later in life. So the teacher really just has to tell them, go ahead, and that's what they do. Okay, so now it's an interesting project for you all to do. But before we start that, do you want to explain the drip irrigation process, or should we this? Can you keep it here? Okay. Or you can just show it to them.
So as you can see, this is a miniature version of the garden that we have in school. It's very rough though, it's very rough. This is just a small version of how we do it. If you see here, you can see the small saplings that I talked about earlier. They're in small pots, which then later get transplanted into the soil. Also, you have to make sure where to grow your crops. This is a lesson we learned after the cauliflower incident, where you have to arrange your crops properly. So here we have mixed cropping, where there are 2 different crops and they in turn help each other. It's a symbiotic relationship.
We also follow intercropping, where we plant vegetables and herbs in between them. So in order to, as she said, symbiotic relationship.
And the herbs also produce medicinal value, so it prevents the plant from catching diseases that would usually be found, but the herbs prevent those. And now I'll show you an experiment where as I told you, the same water goes through all of the patches. So we'll show you how that works.
I hope this really inspires you all to start your own garden, especially in your schools.
usually because there will be holes in the pipes for the drip irrigation, the water goes out, but because it's a rough sketch, there are no holes. But this is how the water gets transplanted throughout the whole patch with a few pipes. And also we save a lot of water because it's, as I said, it goes drip by drip to the base of each plant, so there's no wastage.
Okay, great. Okay, now we are going to really make you all get your hands dirty and plant a particular pot which the girls have got ready here. Have the seeds. Yeah. So the soil. If there are any questions you'll need to ask, please go ahead and ask us. Yeah.
Actually, which
Girls.
time of the year you start?
Girls, which time of the year do we start?
Again, we have 2 seasons every year. So as soon as school starts in
You can take it to
April,
them
we start
itself.
our-
Go
we
there
start
and
our
take
summer
it.
season. So we grow
Come,
crops
come.
for the summer, and then we have vacation in the middle where we have a gardener who manages mostly during the
Where's the
vacation
mud?
times. And when we get back, we
Yeah.
harvest it.
First let them put the
And
mud.
then again in September is a sort of when, because we have to prepare the whole soil. And then in October, when the winter is about to start, we start our second season. So both times we have different crops based on how the weather is. And
Balance studies and gardening, because recently we also have started gardening. It's very difficult to get the students to
okay, so
we
this,
face many hurdles.
yeah,
Right,
what we
you
do
take
is,
your pot.
again, as I said, we have a club where we meet up and then we decide
enough?
for the year. And usually students
One
who are
more.
in the class who are not particularly part of the club,
You give and I'll
they
give
need
also.
to get the experience of the garden. What we do usually when they have science
Take it,
class,
you give, you give.
if they're free, if the
Oh God, I'm getting everything dirty.
the teachers bring them down to observe. It's easier to learn when you can actually see what's going on. So usually we do it when we have science class, and because it's in the area where we park our buses, in the morning when we come out our buses, if you want, you can take 10-15 minutes to just go observe, and you can help out at that time. There'll be people there. So at the end of the break, you can come down if you wish.
Maintenance has to be done on daily basis.
Yeah, we have a gardener who helps us with this, and every day a group of students, like sometimes we have 3 periods, like we have value education, or sometimes we have 0 periods. So every day a different group of students is selected from any part of the school, maybe primary, maybe senior, depends on who's free and which teacher is taking it, and they come down and do it for that day, and then we regulate it on that basis.
As you know, it is cross-curricular, so definitely teachers do support this initiative and they make sure that, some kind of subject is covered. So if it's math, you do have your team members from there coming in, and then they're learning about the area, the perimeter, and everything concerned with math, right? So this,
Basically, it's the core group which starts this, and the others, like the other classes and all, they come and observe and get
Yes.
take out that multidisciplinary.
exactly. Well, there are 150 students now in that group, so each class is involved. And as you know, our school has a strength of more than 10,000 students, which is really large. So everybody is involved, everybody knows about it, and it's really in the school backyard, close to the bus area. So all the children, even when they pass by, they see there are flowers also grown there besides vegetables. So it's really a great initiative even for the teachers to start their own. Some of the teachers have started their own, getting inspired by this. So I do hope you all also initiate this in your schools.
The schools have already started, but
Yes.
as she said rightly, that it was a little difficult to manage all the students
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
and take out a class for that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, basically the CBSE syllabus is always very vast.
Large.
From the beginning,
Yeah,
it is not
yeah.
like that. So taking out a class from there
Yeah.
for gardening becomes a good.
But I think, considering if we have set the ball rolling for a school which is a strength of 10,000 children, I'm sure your students are much lesser than that, which would really don't have to take the entire class. You can just have leaders in the class. Yeah, have a core group. That's what we have, the club. It's actually under the Go Green Club. Now the Go Green Club is all the initiatives of the environmental activities. So it comes under that, right? So definitely everybody is inspired by this and everybody wants to be a part of it. And each year it changes the groups. There's a special list making, there's a special Excel list made for so that all students do get a chance to participate. Yes, yes, definitely. So are you all getting your hands dirty or the girls are? Okay, we are just going to go with some chilies. So let's see how it grows. Maybe you can Oh, there's gloves also. Okay. Wow. It'll be wonderful. 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 It'll be wonderful.